Welcome to Two Guys and a Question, where curiosity sparks better service and better outcomes. Today, Alan and Danny take on one of the smallest and most damaging words in funeral service: no. You'll hear real stories, real strategies, and a fresh outlook on how to turn even the toughest requests into meaningful solutions. This is the kind of thinking that reshapes careers, strengthens teams, and honors families the way they deserve.
I'm Alan Creedy.
I'm Danny Jefferson.
We're Two Guys and a Question. And Danny, I got something on my mind that I want to talk about. And it's a two-letter word. And that word is N-O, no. Now, there's a lot of things we can talk about with that word. It's a little word that's got a big connotation. But the reason I want to bring it up here, and I want to pick your brain about how we do this. You and I, between us, have probably shopped in the neighborhood of 300 funeral homes.
Right.
And if your experience was like mine, you heard that word a lot.
I did. A lot.
I've struggled with that for 40 years. And the reason I've struggled with it is if somebody's paying me $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000, I don't know that I want to use that word very often if I use it at all. So I'm going to give you a context here. Everybody likes to talk about their anecdote, and mine is I'm the same way. When my mother died, we used the local funeral home. She was friends with the former owner, and circumstantially, I knew that we really needed to think in terms of a short, let's call it a reception, that there should be some level of food, not a lot, coffee, lemonade, cookies, didn't matter. But it was going to serve us better to do that than to try to have a visitation the night before. And the conversation was, do you offer receptions? No. Nothing following the no, but no. So being in the profession, I said, could I rent your visitation room? Oh, yeah, we can do that. Okay. Do you offer catering? Can you help me with catering? No, nothing. That was it. No. Do you know any caterers? No. Fortunately, my brother lived in the community and he did know somebody. So my point is, I'm just have to really hold up to our audience and say, what are you doing when you say no, no other conversation? Now, where I want to pick your brain is, I've come to learn that while you wanted to avoid saying no or not say no, there are circumstances, there are situations where you can't do what they're asking you to do. It may be illegal, could be immoral, but more to the point, it may be outside your ability to provide, and you need to say no. But knowing you, all this, the K-N-I-O-W, knowing you, I bet you don't use that word.
Look, I tell people a lot of times, and anybody that knows me, don't tell me that I can't do something.
Okay.
So
how do
essentially,
you do that?
Ask me the question. Ask me as if you're the funeral director or you're the family. Ask me, can I have the service catered? Ask me that question.
Do you offer catering services?
So what are you thinking? Or for how many people?
I don't know, but I doubt we'll have more than 30, 40, 50 people come to the service.
So how much food? Or do you want a sit-down meal or do you want just...
Oh, no. Well, I want a stand-up deal. Here's the deal. This is Bennington, Vermont. We got family coming from Boston 2 hours away. We got family coming from New York City 2 hours away. They're going to want to come that morning and go home that night.
Wow. Okay.
So we're trying to give them an opportunity to interact because they're going to want to interact.
So what if we had cold cuts and bread, mayo and mustard and coffee and water available? Is that okay?
I'm not even sure that, if we had some kind of refreshment like coffee and tea.
The cold cuts, if they just wanted to make a half a sandwich or something.
If you can accommodate that, that's fine.
would you say about 30 people?
Yeah.
And if I just charged you $5 a head, is that okay? $150, $160?
Perfect. Done deal.
Okay. Now, let's back up a minute. I never said,
No, you didn't.
even though we don't cater,
Yep.
even though we don't know a caterer,
Yep.
but I know where the grocery store is. I know how to buy a bag of bread.
Exactly.
I can buy bologna,
Yeah.
Oscar Mayer. It's just nuts. That's the answer you get, and you're correct. That's the answer I got a lot of places that I went.
Oh, it was pervasive. And my point is, if I'm going to charge somebody $5,000, $15,000, I'm not saying no. That's beyond my comprehension, although I understand why are doing it. But you remind me, Danny, that how we approach these things is critically important. And how you say it, what you did was you converted it into a question. In effect, you create a frame of reference. If I had said, no, what I want is a 7-course Italian meal with wine and an open bar and so on and so forth, how would you have responded to that?
Are you going to be the one serving the alcohol, or are we?
I don't know.
Does everybody there drink, or is it just something that you want to offer?
Well, it's how our family did things.
Okay. Is this food going to be, it sounds like it's going to be heavy, is that correct? So we would need to find somebody that can cater it and use their liquor license, essentially.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. And how many people again? 30?
I don't know, but 30 to 50.
All right.
Let's just say that would be the number.
Would you be upset if the last 4 or 5 couples, there wasn't enough food?
I would prefer not.
And the reason I'm asking that is we would probably, if you think it's 30 to 50, we should plan for 55.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
I think I have to accept that. If it's 35 and we have excess food, then that's the way
Obviously, we don't want to be short.
No,
That'd be the worst thing. Okay. So let me see if I can make some calls. Would maybe later on this afternoon be okay, me giving you an answer?
Correct. That's what I wanted you to do, Danny. And what did you do there? You asked questions that began to give you the information you need. Instead of going to the grocery store and buying cold cuts, you knew that, okay, now I need to go outside.
Exactly.
I need to find somebody.
Exactly.
So I need time. I can't respond to this in the moment. I need time to coordinate this.
And more importantly, I ask you permission for the time. I point blank asked, are you okay if I come back with an answer later on this afternoon?
And that's important.
Exactly.
That's important. You remind me of a friend of mine up in Pennsylvania, and you did this as well, but I'll talk about him for a moment. Family came in one day, this is 20 years ago, and asked if he had a bed that they could put their mother's, whatever, their loved one's body in, rather than a casket, because it was going to be cremation. You'd have to know him, but he didn't have a bed, never thought about a bed. But his answer was yes. And he said, this is him telling me the story. He says, they went back out to their car in the front parking lot, and I went back out to my car in the back parking lot, and I drove to the furniture store, and I bought a bed. I brought it back, and I set it up in the viewing room, and we laid the body out in that, and they were tickled. Put the bed away, took the bed down, stored it. Lo and behold, several months later, another family asked if they could have the bed, if they could use the bed. Sure, now I'm charging $500 for this bed, but I'm saying, sure, we can do that. It happened over and over again. He says, you know what happened? I just left the bed up in the viewing room, and now we're at the funeral home with the bed.
I heard about that recently. It's going back to what you just said. I had at one point in time, I had the bed upstairs at the funeral home. That was a problem if the next of kin was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because it was upstairs. So and it only happened one time, but that one time bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
The next time and one family even asked they'd rather not have it upstairs because the person isn't. That's what happened. And I said, no problem. We'll get the bed downstairs. So we disassembled the bed, moved it downstairs.
Yeah.
Look, it also puts to mind when we were talking a little while ago, as the owner or if you own the funeral home, you can talk about catering and going finding a caterer, but I want to ask, have you empowered your team to do the same?
Exactly.
Do they feel right? Do they feel comfortable going ahead and making that decision?
So here's what I would do after hearing this from us, is I would, at my staff meeting, I would say, we charge a fair fee for what we do. And I don't feel like we should be saying no to people. So how do we handle it when somebody asks us to do something that will be outside our normal operations? And I would pose that to my staff. How do we handle it? And for some of them, you're going to get silence. From others, you're probably going to go, wow, I don't know. And that's when you can share, let's try to avoid saying no. Here's how to start the process. You need to clarify what it is they're actually asking for. I don't remember the name of the golfer who had that big event for $95,000 in Georgia that when he died. I think his name was Stewart or something.
Yeah, Payne Stewart.
Payne Stewart. Okay, that's really elaborate. That is well beyond the ability of most funeral homes to do. But if the funeral home had enough time, they might be able to figure it out, or not.
Let me mention this, and then before we wrap up this podcast. When you first asked the question, and for those that listen, we don't script these podcasts. We really try our best to get the question, and the other one, Alan or myself, it doesn't matter, hasn't thought about it. So everything we do is essentially off the cuff, using our expense. Improvisation. So while you were talking about it, it dawned on me the word no was used a lot. It is used a lot in a lot of funeral arrangement interviews. When they ask to have a service on Thursday and a funeral home says, no, we can't have it Thursday because we already have another funeral Thursday.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, how many times did I hear that?
Can't tell you how I cringe when I hear that.
But logistically, they're just telling them the truth.
But you don't say no. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Exactly. So tell me how you say it.
Let's do it. You asked me the question, can you have a funeral on Thursday?
The best time for us would probably be Thursday afternoon.
What time Thursday afternoon? Is there a particular time?
What time do people normally do it?
That is entirely up what works best for you and your family.
All right, lunch, 2:00.
Could you maybe have that service? You got family. I think we talked about you have family coming in from out of town.
Right.
And are they going back the same day?
I would imagine they're only 2 hours away.
Would you be okay if we maybe had that service 11 o'clock or even 11:30 because they're coming into town? They could have the service, maybe even eat something, visit, and then drive home all in the same day.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, now let's back up a minute. I already have a schedule for 3 o'clock. How did I change that family to go from 3, what initially talked about, to 11:30 where I can have both of them the same day? That's just what happened because that's exactly what happens most of the time. You wanted it in the afternoon, but we talked about it, and I got it at 11:30, and you don't even know why because I didn't tell you that you couldn't have it. And the worst thing you can do is tell another family that you have another family, and they're in front of you.
Then this gets back to questions because by framing it with questions, what you did was you made a better suggestion. By using the out-of-town family, you made it a better suggestion.
And I know because I did it, and you can do it.
And we can help.
Thanks for joining us for another meaningful conversation with two guys and a question. Remember, exceptional service begins with curiosity, courage, and the willingness to explore what's possible. And remember to listen in each Thursday for a new podcast with Alan and Danny. You can do it, and they can help.